So blockchain networks, already we've talked about blockchain, but we've only been able to talk about Bitcoin blockchain network only. And you're going to realize that we have different blockchain networks and they serve different purposes. And you may wonder, why do we have them? Why do we have different? Why can't we just use one blockchain network? And just as it is with the traditional system or the traditional financial system, we have different ways of doing business as far as finances are concerned. And when we were looking about movement of money, we talked about different ways that you can use to send money from one person to the other. And we talked about RTGS, we talked about Swift transfer, we talked about PesaLink, we talked about M-Pesa, we talked about electronic money transfer. All those are different networks that can be used to transfer funds from one person to the other. And all those systems or all those networks, they have different advantages and disadvantages. For example, if you are using the M-Pesa network, okay, so M-Pesa, it's its own traditional blockchain network. It has its own limits, it has its own fees, it has its own speeds. Okay, just the same way we also have different blockchain networks that have different capabilities, have different fees, have different speeds, and that is what we are going to look at today. If you take, for example, if you wanted to send like 1 million today, you cannot be able to do that with your M-Pesa line unless you have two. And then you can do 250,000, 250,000, 250,000 times 4, And you see there's the limit of 250,000 per transaction. Unlike when you're using PesaLink, you can do up to 1 million within one transaction, right? And when you're using RTGS, where you have to present yourself to the bank, most of the time you can even do over 1 million, and maybe you have to provide some documents. So all these are networks that are used for money transfer, and not just money transfers, because they can be used for even payments like we've seen with M-Pesa. They can be used for even borrowing money, right? Like we've seen with the likes of Visa and mobile loans, So it's actually the same thing now, but in the crypto perspective. So what we are going to be looking at is those traditional networks, but now in a crypto perspective. So like we've already said, cryptocurrency or digital currency is a form of digital money that uses encryption techniques for security and operates independently of a central bank. That's why we call it decentralized. So blockchain technology, the backbone of most cryptocurrencies, is a decentralized and distributed digital ledger that records all the transactions. Now, there are many different types of blockchain networks currently available, each with their own unique features and use cases. Now, different blockchain networks use different consensus mechanisms. So what is a consensus mechanism? A consensus mechanism is a process by which new transactions are added to the blockchain and all transactions are confirmed as valid. It's just like an agreement of how things are going to be done. That is basically what a consensus mechanism is. So each has its own advantages, or each blockchain network has its own advantages and, of course, disadvantages. And the choice of mechanism can affect the security, scalability, and the energy efficiency of the network. So we are going to look at the examples here, which include the proof of work and proof of stake, popularly known as POW and POS, respectively. Now, this one, the proof of work and the proof of stake, we are going to cover it in another topic where we will be talking about coin confirmation and Bitcoin mining, okay? Which, if time allows, we might cover that today. But for now, what I want us to talk about is the different blockchain networks. And you will also realize that projects can be built on top of other blockchain networks. Okay, projects can be built on top of other blockchain networks. Let me give you an example. M-Pesa is the founder of the till numbers and the pay bills, right? But we've seen other companies being able to joyride on the M-Pesa platform of pay bills, such that Nowadays, if I'm using my Loop bank, I can actually be able to make a payment to a pay bill or a buy goods. If I'm using Airtel Money, I can be able to pay goods and pay bills. We've also had other companies that have come to be till providers but have built their system on top of the M-Pesa till numbers. For example, there's a company called KopoKopo. So KopoKopo is a company here in Kenya that provides till numbers. I remember when I registered my very first company back in campus, I received my till number from KopoKopo. I didn't get it directly from Safaricom. So KopoKopo is a company that has been built on top of M-Pesa. So it's not the original provider of the service, but it has been built on top of another network or of another business. So this also happens quite often when it comes to blockchain. And when we start using and interacting with the decentralized exchanges, you will see how this works, and you will understand even much better how this works and why this happens. So there are so many blockchain networks that we cannot exhaust them all. So here I have listed just a few, just to acquaint you with what these blockchain networks are and how they differ. And you're also going to realize that the blockchain network that, let's say for example, a certain coin has been built on a certain blockchain network. So that coin, we call it the mainnet, okay? If another project comes and is built on the same blockchain network, that is not a coin, but rather a token. However, you will also realize that a token can graduate from being a token and become a coin. So there's a difference between coin and tokens, which you're going to look probably in the next topic, okay? So there's a difference between a coin and a token. And the difference is basically that a coin is built on its own blockchain network, and a token is built on an underlying or an existing blockchain network. So for example, when Binance or the BNB coin was first built, remember we talked of Binance being launched as an ICO when they were starting. So when it was being built, during the ICO process, it was actually built on Ethereum. So it was a BNB token. But later, it graduated and it was built, or it developed its own blockchain network, which we call the Binance Smart Chain Network, or the BSC. We like to call it the BSC, okay? And we realize that with a BSC network, it's much cheaper, faster, and efficient, even more than the previous blockchain network that it had built on, which is Ethereum, okay? So we are going to look at that also. So for now, let's just focus on the different blockchain networks, and you're going to see how they differ. Like I've said, we cannot look at all of them. So just have a list of like 10, 12 blockchain networks here that we're going to look at and see how they differ from each other. Then from there, we will continue. Now, we have the first one, which is the Bitcoin blockchain network, okay? This was the first and the most well-known cryptocurrency blockchain network. So Bitcoin was created back in the year 2009, and we said this was done by an individual or a group of individuals using a pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto. We don't know whether it was a single person or it was a group of people, but they go by the name Satoshi Nakamoto. But after checking through the documents across the globe, there's actually no single person that goes by the name Satoshi Nakamoto. Well, there could be other people called Satoshi someone, and there could be other people called Nakamoto someone, but getting one person with a combination of two names like Satoshi Nakamoto, this has never happened. So to date, the Bitcoin founder remains anonymous. So, and it uses a proof of work consensus mechanism, and consensus mechanism is basically like an agreement that has been coded on how this is going to be ran. Now, proof of work is what now the mining machines do, okay? Completing the mathematical problems or the mathematical algorithms to confirm a transaction. Remember, we talked about mining, but I have an extensive topic on mining, okay? So, proof of work is essentially... Proof of work is essentially the use of these machines to verify these crypto transactions. That is proof of work. So they use a proof of work the Bitcoin network uses the proof of work consensus mechanism and has a maximum supply of 21 million coins. And Bitcoin is primarily used as a store of value and a medium of exchange. This one everyone is aware of. But remember, we said that Bitcoin has a maximum supply of 21 million. Now, if I told you that not all 21 million Bitcoins are in existence, okay? Currently, we are looking at almost 20 million, actually 19 million and some 100,000. And this is because of another process called mining. Sorry, not mining, but called Bitcoin halving, which actually relates with mining and halving. They actually go hand in hand because halving cannot happen without mining happening. So these are actually in one topic. Okay, so we are going to see how all these 21 million Bitcoins are going to be in existence, because apparently all the Bitcoins are not in the circulation. And it's so surprising that the last Bitcoin will be mined in the year 2140. You can imagine how far we are from there. If you minus 2024 and the year 2140, it's like almost 100 years, actually over 100 years, 100 and something years from now. That is when the last Bitcoin will be mined. And I know you'll have so many questions like what will happen after all the Bitcoins have been mined. Well, I'll answer those questions when we start talking about Bitcoin halving, okay? So that is the Bitcoin blockchain network. It was the very first one. So then the second one was the Ethereum blockchain network, which was launched in 2015, okay? In 2015, the Ethereum is an open source decentralized platform that enables the creation of smart contracts. And we said smart contracts are self-executing documents that have been coded, yeah? Self-executing documents, whereby when it has been given rules and laws and terms and conditions, it can only execute when certain conditions have been met, yeah? It can only execute when some conditions have been met. So, the creation of smart contracts and decentralized applications. Yeah, we talked about decentralized applications when someone was asking what is DApps. DApps are basically decentralized applications. And a very good example of decentralized applications is the Trust Wallet. We have MetaMask, which have actually been built by Ethereum or through the Ethereum network, okay? So it uses proof of work consensus mechanism and has a maximum supply of 120 million coins. And apparently, you're going to realize that in as much as Ethereum was previously built through the proof of work mechanism, they are actually currently in the process of transitioning from proof of work to proof of stake, the POS. But you're going to discuss what proof of stake is and how it works and how it differs from the proof of work. So Ethereum is used for a variety of purposes, including the creation of new cryptocurrencies. You're going to see when you start interacting with Uniswap, which is a decentralized exchange, that all the projects that are currently running on Uniswap have been built on the Ethereum blockchain network, okay? And of course, the issuance of digital assets. Then we have Ripple. Ripple is a real-time gross settlement system, currency exchange, and remittance network created in 2012. It uses a unique consensus mechanism called the Ripple Protocol Consensus Algorithm. Now, Ripple is designed for fast and low-cost international money transfers and has partnerships with several financial institutions. Now, Ripple was actually one of the projects that I would say had seen the future of cryptocurrency so early than even anyone else, after Bitcoin. Because when Ripple was built, it was built with the mindset eventually cryptocurrency will be adopted globally and people will need to do remittances, people will need to do international money transfers, And so some guys or some developers came with Ripple, and Ripple is more or less like the traditional financial system, but in the cryptocurrency theme or in the cryptocurrency industry, whereby what they've been pushing for is for Ripple to be widely accepted and to be licensed so that it can be integrated with the banks and people can actually, for example, you have some millions in your bank account and you want to send them to overseas, instead of just going to the bank and doing the normal money transfers that we know, you could convert your funds into repo and send immediately. So that is why you can see we're saying it's designed for fast and low cost international money transfers and has partnerships with several financial. Remember, these are several traditional financial institutions. Then we have Litecoin, which was created in 2011, and Litecoin is often referred to as the silver to Bitcoin's gold. Okay, it uses a proof of work consensus mechanism. Actually, how Litecoin was built was like taking Bitcoin and taking the code that was used to write Bitcoin. Remember, Bitcoin is actually money that has been coded. Okay, it's a code. Actually, Bitcoin is a code. But now, if I go to that direction, it might confuse a lot of people, especially those who are not so good in ICT. But Bitcoin essentially is actually a code that was created that eventually became a virtual currency. That is why you can never have Bitcoin in physical form. But now how Litecoin was built, someone took the Bitcoin code because it's an open source code and anyone can take it and edit it. But when you edit it, you come with totally something different. So someone took the Bitcoin code and edited it and came up with Litecoin. Now, the beauty about Litecoin as compared to BTC is that it confirms a bit faster and its fees are much lesser. Yeah, so that's the only difference between Bitcoin and Litecoin. Well, they correlate so much, especially when Bitcoin is going up. You'd find if Bitcoin goes up for some time and Litecoin has been sleeping, immediately the Bitcoin stops going up, Litecoin will follow suit. Same thing, or the vice versa also happens. So it's almost like the same thing. Okay. Now, it uses the proof of work consensus mechanism, just like Bitcoin, and has a maximum supply of 84 million coins. Now, Litecoin is designed to be faster and cheaper to use than Bitcoin, like I just said, with faster transaction confirmation times and lower fees. It's just Bitcoin in another shape, okay, or in another language, or how do I put it? That's why it's actually called Litecoin, because it's well, there are people who call it Litecoin, but I like to call it Litecoin. And I believe the word Litecoin was coming from, it's a bit lighter and it can be sent faster and it can be confirmed a bit faster. Yeah. Then we have Bitcoin Cash. Now, remember, sometimes back I mentioned about when the projects fork. Okay. This is when one project, and it has different developers, but at some point, these different developers tend to disagree on something. And when they do so, they decide to part ways. But because both developers or both parties or both groups want to continue with the progress of this project, they come up with almost a replica of the initial project, but now it's based on the terms and regulations that probably the other team didn't agree. So when that happens, we have what we call Bitcoin or cryptocurrency forking. So Bitcoin Cash is a fork of the Bitcoin blockchain that was created in 2017. It uses proof of work consensus mechanism and has a maximum supply of 21 millions, just like Bitcoin. Bitcoin Cash aims to improve upon the scalability issues of the original Bitcoin blockchain. Now, this happened, you can see this happened in 2017. During this period, we actually had a bull run, okay? By now, I want to believe that you guys knows what a bull run is, unless you didn't go through the what do you call it? The crypto Bible, yeah? So during the 2017 period, there was what we call the bull run, and the market was moving crazy. Bitcoin went from $900 all the way to $20,000 within a single year. You can imagine, from $900 to $20,000. And a lot of people were starting to jump into the crypto industry. And because of that, there was a lot of traffic in the cryptocurrency or in the Bitcoin on the Bitcoin blockchain network. Okay? So the developers were trying to look for faster and efficient ways to complete transactions because the transactions were becoming many and many and many. Okay? So for that reason, a number of people suggested that, well, why can't we just try and see if we can create something that is a bit faster? And there were people who said, no, Bitcoin, how Bitcoin was built, it is perfect and we cannot edit it, let it run as it wants. So there are people who want the project to remain as it is, but there are people who want to scale it or who wants to improve it. Now, because of this disagreement between two parties, one party decided to come up with the Bitcoin Cash. And Bitcoin Cash, like you can see, it aims to improve upon the scalability issues of the original blockchain network. So it's essentially that simple. So these blockchain networks actually emerge out of some problems that were probably found in a previous blockchain network. So people want to come up with another blockchain network that can probably solve the previous blockchain network. And this happens mostly because once a blockchain network has been deployed, remember it runs on a smart contract, it cannot be edited. Okay, it cannot be edited. So the only thing that can be done is either to abandon it completely or build something that, or either abandon it or continue using it as it is, or build something different that is going to probably solve the problem that you've seen with the previous blockchain network. Then we have the EOS, is a blockchain platform for the development of decentralized application and smart contracts. Similar to Ethereum, it uses a delegated proof of stake consensus mechanism. We are going to see what this is, and has a maximum supply limit. And EOS aims to provide faster and more scalable transactions than other blockchain networks. Now, what you're going to realize is these are old blockchain networks. These are actually old blockchain networks that were developed some years back, maybe 10, 7, 8 years back. But now you're going to realize that as people continue to adopt the cryptocurrency industry, a lot of people are coming up with other networks that are much faster, and now they are not trying to solve the previous problem, but they are solving problems that have been faced by the upcoming blockchain networks, whereby you've built a blockchain network probably solving a previous problem, but this one that you have built, yes, you might have solved the problem with the previous one, but you've also created another problem, or your new development has another problem that needs to be solved. And because this has already been deployed, probably you cannot edit it, you cannot improve it. All that you can do is probably now come up with another blockchain network that is going to solve that problem. Okay? Are you following?
Yes.
Yes.
Right. Then we have Cardano. Okay, Cardano is an open source decentralized platform for development of smart contracts and dApps. It uses unique consensus mechanism called Ouroboros proof of stake. And Cardano aims to provide a more secure and sustainable platform for the development of blockchain-based applications. So this is basically a project that aims on building decentralized applications, okay? All applications that can be used on decentralized networks. Well, it has a lot of supply. I'm actually not a fan of Cardano. Well, there are people who believe so much in it, but when you start looking at aggregators, we are going to learn about maximum supply, circulating supply, and maximum supply, circulating supply, and the other one is fully diluted market cap, and of course the market cap itself. And you're going to realize that some projects have quite a lot of maximum supply, okay? Quite a lot of maximum supply. And when projects have, basically maximum supply is the maximum number of coins that can ever exist on a blockchain network, okay? Like Bitcoin is 21 million. Like Litecoin is 84 million. Bitcoin Cash, it's 21 million, okay? But for Cardano, I think they have over 200 million and something. Is it 200 million? Let me just confirm. But they have a lot of maximum supply, which I feel to some extent makes Cardano to lag, because it's a very good project. Yes, they actually have a maximum supply of 45 billion coins, okay? 45 billion coins, and the total supply is 36, and the circulating supply is 35, which is like 78% of all the coins that are available. But you're going to see what these are: circulating supply, total supply, and maximum supply, and you're going to understand how this works. Now we have Stellar. Stellar is a blockchain network that aims to provide platform for building decentralized financial applications. You see, they are actually almost revolving around the same thing, trying to solve the previous problem from the previous blockchain network. So it uses a consensus mechanism called the Stellar Consensus Protocol that allows for fast and secure transactions. Stellar's native cryptocurrency is XLM and has a maximum supply of 50 billion coins. One of the most popular dApps built on Stellar is the Stellar X decentralized exchange, which allows users to trade various assets on the Stellar network. Okay, so they have their own decentralized exchange, which is the Stellar X decentralized exchange, and you can see almost all of these projects are actually revolving on the same thing: decentralized application, faster transactions, secure transactions, maybe lower fees, you know. Then we have Zcash. Zcash is a blockchain network that aims to provide platform for building private and anonymous transaction. You see, already Bitcoin is already doing this, okay? Bitcoin is already providing or creating, or Bitcoin has been built in a manner that is private and anonymous. But here comes another project, which is Zcash, which is trying to build a platform that is private and anonymous, or that brings about private and anonymous transaction. It uses a consensus mechanism called Equihash and allows for the use of shielded transactions, which hide the sender, recipient, and transaction amount. So Zcash native cryptocurrency is ZEC, or ZEC, if you like it that way. Okay, so you can see each and every blockchain network probably it has something different from the previous one, but the concept is just one and the same. Okay, we have IOTA, and you don't have to actually know about all these blockchain networks. All that I want you to know and understand now is that we have different blockchain networks, and all that you need to know is how to use them, which when you start using them, you will realize how easy it is. Because when you're sending some cryptocurrencies, all that you need to know is, well, I need to receive USDT. Which network am I going to use? Is it the Tron network? Is it the Binance Smart Chain network? Is it the Ethereum network? Is it the Solana network? And why am I using the Tron and not the Ethereum? Probably because the Tron has cheaper fees and is a bit faster, unlike the Ethereum, which is a bit slower and has more fees. Maybe you feel the Ethereum network is much secure than the Tron network. So there's those few things that you will need to know about this blockchain network, that this is not something that you really need to know so much. It's like trying to understand how the likes of RTGS and PesaLink and Swift transfers and Western Union works. You don't need to know that. All that you want to know is, if I want to send money from here to Dubai, which is the fastest and the cheapest way that I can be able to send money to Dubai. That's enough. That's all. Because of course you understand there are different ways that you can send money to Dubai. You can use Swift, you can use RTGS. Maybe I don't know whether you can use PesaLink, you can use Western Union. You know, there are so many money transfer systems that are available that you can use. But all of them will probably deliver the money to the recipient. But after how long, and what are the fees, what are the rates, what are the charges, what is the safety, you know? So these systems, or these traditional ways of money transfer, are actually the same things that we are talking about here, but now they also differ in one way or the other. We have the Tron network, which is very famous, and you will use it quite a number of times, or quite mostly. And the Tron is a blockchain network that aims to provide platform for building decentralized applications. The same thing, and content sharing. It uses a consensus mechanism called the DPoS that allows for fast and scalable transaction. You see, fast, scalable, decentralized application. So Tron's native cryptocurrency is TRX. Remember, we said if a project has been built on its own blockchain network, we call it the mainnet, or the native cryptocurrency. Now, one of the most popular dApps built on Tron is the TronBet, a decentralized gaming platform. You see, we have Monero. Now, Monero is a bit different from the rest because Monero has actually been used so much on the dark web, especially when you want to do illegal transactions and you want to hide and you don't want trace. Because you see, if someone knows your wallet, they can actually be able to follow through the transactions that you make across the blockchain network. Because they only need to know what is your wallet address, then they would probably go to the blockchain network, paste the wallet address, and then all the transactions that you have done will show there. Okay, all the transactions that you have done, they will show. But these transactions, remember, they are not attached to your real identity, but they are attached to the wallet address that you use. So now these also attaches to yourself. Okay, so now Monero is a private, secure, and untraceable cryptocurrency. Monero uses a unique type of cryptography to ensure that all of its transactions are completely private and untraceable. Okay, this makes it a popular choice for people who value privacy and security and illegality. Okay, or legal deals, because a lot of people basically use Monero. Those drug lords, those people who sell guns, those people who do commit some crazy crimes on the internet, they would prefer to use Monero because of its private and security and then traceable nature of Monero. We have Dash. Dash is a digital currency that aims to be the most user-friendly, scalable payment-focused cryptocurrency in the world. It was originally launched as Xcoin in 2014 and then rebranded as Darkcoin in 2015. It was rebranded again as Dash, which stands for digital cash. So you can see these are different blockchain networks. Now this one, the Solana one, which is my favorite because Solana is currently the talk of the town, and you're going to realize that you will need to have Solana in your portfolios as we go on. Okay, you will definitely need to buy Solana because this is a project, we're calling it, it's actually branded as the Ethereum killer. When we talk about cryptocurrency in projects, it's branded as the Ethereum killer. And do you know what that means? Remember, Ethereum is the second largest cryptocurrency by market capitalization. What I mean by market capitalization is it's the largest project that people have put so much money into. If you look at how much money has been put in Bitcoin currently, or how much the market cap for Bitcoin is, it's basically, let me check just to get the correct figures for you. Let me check. So currently, Bitcoin is dominating the entire cryptocurrency market cap by 51.3%. And the entire cryptocurrency market cap, you can imagine how big it is. It's currently standing at $1.64 trillion. So Bitcoin is taking the lead at 51.3%. Yeah, followed by Ethereum at 16.8. After Ethereum, we have the USDT, the BNB, and number 5, we have the Solana. Okay, at number 5, we have the Solana. And Solana is believed to be the Ethereum killer. So you can imagine, this is a project that just came the other day, and it's trying to compete with a project that has been there since 2015, over 10 years ago. Okay, so Solana is a high-performance blockchain network that aims to provide fast and low cost transactions for decentralized applications. Still the same thing. It utilizes a unique consensus mechanism called proof of stake, which allows it to process up to 65,000 transactions per second. Okay. Now Solana has also has a decentralized exchange DEX built into the network called Serum, which allows for fast and efficient trading of digital assets. It also has its own NFT platform. We are going to see what NFTs are. They basically mean the non-fungible tokens. Okay, non-fungible tokens, just to mention, these are pieces of art that have been attached to some value. For example, because they are unique in nature. Okay, because they are unique in nature, and there can never be such art, or there can never be a replica of that. For example, I was surprised when when I started learning about NFTs. I was surprised that the first tweet to be ever made by Jack Dorsey. Apparently, Jack Dorsey was the founder of Twitter, which is now X, was sold for, I think it was $2.7 million. Let me just check that. Tweet sold for, let me check that. Yeah, the very first tweet of Jack Dorsey, whose non-fungible token NFT was sold for $2.9 million to crypto entrepreneur and Iranian investor Sina Istav in 21. It's reportedly now only worth less than $4. Well, the NFT marketplace is one of the marketplaces or is one of the industry in the crypto industry that entices me because people value things that I don't see value in. But we are going to look at that and you're going to see how funny that can be. Okay. So Solana, like I was saying, they have their own decentralized exchange, which is called Serum. They also have their own NFT marketplace where people can sell their unique artistic works. It's called the Solana Art. It's currently scaling up to an extent whereby it will be able to process even over 100 transactions per second. Okay, so the developers behind Solana, they're actually working day and night to make sure it overtakes Ethereum because Ethereum for the longest time possible has been the say in the market. Then Binance Smart Chain was launched in 2017 and then Solana came just the other day during the COVID period. And Solana has been the talk of the town. If you look at how much Solana is selling at, it's currently selling for $101. Last year, around this time, Solana was selling for only $8. So you can imagine how much it has grown. You know, it has grown to almost 12 times from where it was trading at last year in January. So if you had invested like $1,000, let me see. If you had invested like $1,000 in Solana at $8, you'd had like 125 Solanas. Sell one at 101, you'd be having $12,000. You know, just by buying Solana and holding. But why is its value growing? It's because people have seen something in Solana and they believe that Solana is among the projects that are going to do very well in the future as far as cryptocurrency industry is concerned. But of course, we are going to look at this when we learn about fundamental analysis, whereby we will be dissecting projects, you know, looking at the project intrinsic value and looking to see whether a project is undervalued or overvalued. Because there are other projects out there which I feel they are overvalued and you know they're basically doing well because of the hype or because they have a large community. But if you look at the utility or what they bring in the market, there's nothing. Take, for example, Dogecoin. Dogecoin is just a mere meme coin. It doesn't have any utility. Well, there have been hypes and rumors that you know Elon Musk is going to integrate Dogecoin as a mode of payment in Twitter or in X. But you know, this is just speculation. But you see, the project has really been doing well for a very long time, but it basically doesn't have any utility. You know, unlike Solana, which is it allows scalability and it allows other projects to build on it. It has an NFT marketplace. It has its own decentralized exchange. You know, you can't compare such a project with a project like Dogecoin, you know, or Shiba Inu. Shiba Inu is just another mere meme coin, which did very well. I've heard of people who made over 20 million dollars from Shiba Inu. But why did people make so much money out of such a project? It's just because of the hype. So to me, such projects at some point I will see as if they are overvalued because if you look at what they are bringing in the market, what problem they are trying to solve, there's nothing, you know, only that they have the community. And remember, community is very key. We are going to see that in fundamental analysis, that community is key in any crypto project because you might have a very good cryptocurrency project, but if you don't have the community, then you're doomed. However, you might have a very useless cryptocurrency project, but if you know how to mobilize people and let people buy, you see, this is basically what WorldCoin is doing. You know, they're giving people free money, you know, collecting their data, and you never know how this data is going to be used. Actually, I think you guys saw there's a screenshot that I shared. in the WhatsApp group that was saying, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, 6 WorldCoin operators raided in Hong Kong amid public warning not to share biometric data, because essentially that is what they are collecting. Okay, so you need to be very, very, very keen not to just go sharing your data anyhowly in the public to people that you don't know and you don't know what that data can be used for. Now we have Binance Smart Chain. This has been a popular one, and you're going to interact with these quite a lot of time. So this one, Binance Smart Chain, actually the most recommended blockchain networks that I would recommend people to learn and pay attention to is the Binance Smart Chain, because this one you use it almost every day, especially when you start working on or when you start interacting with the decentralized networks. Why? Because apparently most projects that are coming up, and for the longest time possible, we've had projects being built on the Ethereum network. Okay, but the Ethereum network has had a problem for a very long time. There is what we call the gas fees. So the Ethereum network will charge you a lot of fees. Sometimes you might want to send maybe $5 worth of Ethereum, or you want to buy a project for $10 that is built on Ethereum, but you end up paying $35 in fees. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. And because of that, a lot of developers are now running to the Binance Smart Chain because it's fast, it's efficient, and it's cheap. Yeah, the Binance Smart Chain network is actually built by Binance itself. So it's a blockchain network developed by Binance, one of the largest cryptocurrency exchanges in the world. It is a high performance blockchain that supports the execution of smart contracts and enables the creation of decentralized applications. Binance Smart Chain is fully compatible with Ethereum, allowing developers to easily migrate their existing dApps to Binance Network. And I believe this is because initially, like I mentioned, the Binance coin or the BNB coin was initially built on Ethereum, and they were able to graduate and become its own independent blockchain network. So apparently, if you have a project that has been built on Ethereum, you can actually transition it to the Binance Smart Chain network, and I've seen it happen with quite a number of projects. There's one called Amino, which actually was initially built on the Ethereum network, and recently they just transitions to the Binance Smart Chain network, and it's easier, faster, cheaper, and even more user friendly. Okay. So additionally, Binance Smart Chain also features a built-in decentralized exchange called the PancakeSwap, which we are going to look at and we are going to interact with when you start using the decentralized exchanges, which enables fast and efficient trading of digital assets or digital coins, because most of them will actually be coins because they have not been built on their own blockchain network, but rather on the BSC network. And each of all these blockchain networks, they have their own blockchain explorers. And don't confuse a blockchain network with a blockchain explorer. A blockchain explorer is a platform where you go to see the transactions that happen on a certain project using a certain blockchain network. For example, you cannot go to a Binance Smart Chain blockchain explorer to check for a Bitcoin transaction. The same way, you cannot go to a Tron blockchain explorer to check for an Ethereum transaction. It can never happen. So that is why it's very, very important to know which network you're using when, so that when you want to track and see whether your transaction has been confirmed, you know to which explorer you are going to. So this explorer is just a database where you can see those transactions. Okay. We have the Cosmos. It is a blockchain ecosystem that aims to connect different blockchains together to enable interoperability between them. Now, this is a bit unique to me because it allows blockchain networks to work together. Instead of trying to compete and trying to improve the previous one, this one allows blockchain networks to be able to work together, such that if I have a coin or a token that is currently running on a certain blockchain network, but I feel this blockchain network is a bit expensive, I can convert that coin to another blockchain network without even probably having to go and make a trade on the centralized exchanges, just using the decentralized exchanges. Okay, it utilizes a unique consensus called the Tendermint or Tendermint, which allows for faster and efficient transactions and also enables the creation of decentralized applications, which now can allow this interoperability between these different blockchain networks, okay? Cosmos also has a built-in governance system that allows token holders to vote on network upgrade and changes. Basically, this is called the DAO, or the Decentralized Autonomous Organization, whereby when a project or when a crypto project has been built, instead of the developers making the final decisions on the changes that they want to make on the project, they will have a DAO team, or the Decentralized Autonomous Organization, which is a group of people that the developers can always talk to or consult, whereby they will tell the DAO, look, guys, we've done this and this and this and this, and we think if we could probably shift from doing this to this, maybe our blockchain network will be more preferred, or maybe much faster, or may attract more investors. So what the DAO is going to do, it's going to vote. So the DAO is just anyone, someone like you and I, we can become part of a DAO, okay? Especially if we understand the project well and we've probably been participating in the development of the project. So we can become the part of the DAO, and the developers will always reach out to us anytime they want to make probably a significant change. They will let us vote, and if we vote against that change, most likely the developers are not going to go ahead and implement it. But if we vote for it, then they can go ahead and implement whatever change they want to do. Now we have Algorand, we have Polygon, we have Avalanche. So there are so many blockchain networks, and we cannot look at all of them. But like you've seen, most of them are focusing on fast, secure, and cheaper transactions, and others on decentralized applications. So they are basically the same, but in a different way. Some are cheaper, some are faster, some are expensive, some are more secure. They have a different tweak. Just like same thing with the traditional financial system, the M-Pesas, the Swift transfer, the credit card and debit card, the PayPal, all those traditional financial transfers. Well, they will still do the same thing. Money will be sent, a transaction will be done, but how fast? What is the fees? What details am I leaving to whichever merchant I'm dealing with? So it's just one and the same thing as those traditional financial systems that we use, but rather they have some few discrepancies, or they have some few differences here and there that make one better or preferable than the other, depending with what kind of transaction you want to make. Now, so there are many different blockchain networks currently available, each with their own unique features and capabilities. Some of the most popular, we've mentioned about them. And each of these networks serve a specific purpose and can be used for different types of applications and use cases. So as a beginner, it is important to you to do your own research and understand the different features and capabilities of each network before deciding which one to use or invest in. Now, you might be wondering, how would I know if this project is running on a certain blockchain network? So we are going to learn that when we start talking about the aggregators. When you go to CoinMarketCap, or let me just do this, CoinMarketCap. Let me share my screen here. Now, just to show you, well, we will have a lesson one day for going through this platform. It's a very diverse platform, and we are going to look at it, each element by each element, one after the other, okay? And this is one of the platforms that you will be using. This should actually happen next week. Yeah, probably next week. We'll see. If time allows, maybe we can even do that tomorrow. So this is, it's called CoinMarketCap. It's a crypto aggregator. An aggregator is basically a platform whereby you can use to compare and do research on different cryptocurrency projects. Now, I was talking about the blockchain networks, or how can you tell which network a certain project has been built on. Now, if you come on the CoinMarketCap Let's say, for example, we click. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. If, for example, I click on Shiba Inu,
Yes.
thank you. If, for example, I click on Shiba Inu, and then you come here, you can see the contract, okay? This tells you that Shiba Inu has been built on the Ethereum network. It's that simple. So this platform will help you to know which blockchain network a project has been used. Now, you will also find that there are other projects that have been built on multiple blockchain networks, okay? You'll realize that there are other projects that have been built on multiple different blockchain networks. Let me take the USDT for example. Like the USDT, for example, it runs on a lot of blockchain networks. So if you check here, you can see the contract, it's Ethereum. But when I click on more, you will see quite a lot of other blockchain networks that the USDT have been built on. Can you see? We have Ethereum, which is the first one here. Then we have Viction, we have BNB Smart Chain, we have Solana, Algorand, Heco, Genesis, we have Terra, Classic. You know, there are so many, and you can even scroll all the way down because I believe there are more than that. You can see all this. You can send USDT through any of these blockchain networks, but you need to understand, is the recipient able to know which blockchain networks they want to receive certain funds through, which we're going to learn very soon. Now, this doesn't really matter quite a lot when you're dealing with centralized exchanges, but it matters a lot when you're dealing with decentralized exchanges. And you can actually easily lose money. You can easily lose money if you use the long blockchain networks, because if you are supposed to send money through, well, there are some blockchain networks that are how can I put it? Are kind of linked. For example, if you send some USDTs through the Ethereum network, but you had picked an Binance Smart Chain network, those funds will still appear, okay? Those funds will still appear in the same wallet. Actually, you will realize that. Can everyone go to Trust Wallet now? I believe we have our Trust Wallet on our phones. If you go to your Trust Wallet and open it, then under home, you click receive, then you search USDT. Let me just do that. Let me just display that from my phone so that everyone can see. I need to launch this app. Let me share my entire screen. Can you guys see my phone? Yep.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
So let me take a wallet like okay, let me take a wallet like let me just use this one called Maco3 here. So if, for example, I click on receive and I search on USDT, you will realize here, can you see on top here, there is all networks. Can you see? Let me show you here. Can you see my cursor here where it says all networks?
Yeah.
So if you look down here, we have so many networks. We have Ethereum, and there's the Ethereum icon. We have BNB Smart Chain, and we have the BNB Smart Chain. We have Avalanche. We have Avalanche again. We have Tether. We have Solana. So you can see USDT has been built on a lot of blockchain networks. Now, what you will realize is if I click on the very first one, which is the Ethereum, and I'm presented with this wallet address, okay? I'm presented with this wallet address. I want you to note this wallet. It reads 0x7A and ends with B994. Okay, that is USDT on Ethereum blockchain network. If I come here again and search USDT, and instead of now picking the Ethereum, I pick the BNB Smart Chain network, you will realize that it's actually the same wallet. Can you see that? 0x7A and ending with B994. Meaning, if I was sending funds from, let's say, another wallet or from Binance or from Bybit or from OKEx, and I was sending to this wallet, if I picked this wallet, if I copied this wallet, which is running on the Binance Smart Chain network, but instead, when I go to withdraw from the other platform, I choose the Ethereum network, these funds will still appear. However, don't make the mistake of copying the USDT. Let's say now I pick the USDT and the one that is running on Solana, for example. Okay, you see this one is 4PC9. Okay, I copy this is USDT running on Solana. Then when I go to the other platform and I want to send, I have to use the same network. If I mistakenly choose maybe the Ethereum network or the Tron network or the Avalanche network, I've copied the wallet address, I've pasted the correct address on the other side, but I've chosen the wrong network. Then those funds will end up getting lost and there's no way you can recover them. So for example, I've picked these wallet copy address, and now let's say I want to send USDT, and then I choose the Ethereum, and then I click on send. Okay, then I will paste. Now you see it's telling me invalid address. Now this is a feature that has been brought about lately. Okay, however, sometimes some exchanges or some wallets will not tell you this. Okay, well, personally I will know, because I know all the Ethereum wallet addresses, they will start with 0x. All the Tron wallet addresses will start with T. Okay, all the Binance Smart Chain addresses will start with 0x. So that is why it's at least it's telling me invalid address. But if I ignore that precaution, for example, I paste and I put the amount and I decide to send, and I send, those money will get lost. So it's very important that you use the correct blockchain network. Are we together?
Yes.
Do you have questions?